So I'm going to test out this new video software on one of Geerup's videos. In this one, he's going on and on about how he's not going to abandon Sean even through all the crap Sean's pulled.
Jesus came again unto the temple, and the people sat around about him, and he began to teach them. Then the scribes and the Pharisees came to him, and they took a woman, and sat her in front of them, and said, "This woman was caught in the very act of adultery. In the very act! We caught her red-handed." Now, they said this because they wanted to entrap him. They said, "What do you say, Jesus? Because Moses and the law declares that such should be stoned." You see, in the Old Testament, it says that anyone caught in the very act of adultery, and anyone doing these kind of activities, should be stoned to death.
Well, ain't God just a freaking peach?
You're a man of the Bible.
Is that supposed to be a pun?
What are you going to do? Jesus bent down and he began to write on the ground. Now, the Bible doesn't say what he wrote on the ground, but I suspect it was something profound, something convicting,
I bet it was a Ziggy cartoon.
something that caused the scribes and the Pharisees to examine themselves maybe once in their lives.
It was definitely a Ziggy cartoon.
Because they all gripping stones, ready to kill this woman.
Because their God told them to.
Began to drop their stones one by one.
Well, they shouldn't be disobeying God. That'll get them killed.
After Jesus rose up from the ground and said, "He who is without sin amongst you, let him cast the first stone."
Right, then Jesus picked up a great big rock and beamed that whore.
On the internet, there has been a lot of stoning going on.
No, there's a lot of stoners. Big difference.
A lot of stoning. And it's all because one individual and his
Who stole from sick kids' charity,
message.
which is it's okay to steal from sick kids' charity.
His message is just so powerful. His message is just so threatening that we need to make an example of him.
Well, it's not that his message is threatening, it's that the crazy people who follow said message is threatening. I always hear people saying prayer moves mountains. No, it doesn't. It will drop buildings, but it will not move mountains.
I see the atheist community so threatened by Venom Fang X and his Ken Hovind ministry, right? Because he's using Ken Hovind's material, according to you guys. And sure, he did use some of Ken Hovind's material, but
It's fine to quote a source, but when everything you say in a video is literally just lifted off of another person, you're Brock Lollying it.
what's wrong with that? Ken Hovind doesn't have a copyright in his material. He took it off on purpose so that people could use it and teach others. Not to malign him, cut him up, to lie. I'm not going to stone a brother that's already being stoned. There's no reason to stone a brother that's already being unjustly stoned.
Filing fraudulent DMCA claims and slandering someone by calling them a pedophile, when they get in trouble, that's not unjust.
You see, this is not justice. This is not justice. The way the atheist community going behind his back to his parents is not justice. That's not justice. That's underhanded. If it's
We were trying to figure out what the hell was wrong with him.
even true, But even if it isn't true, it's still underhanded. Let's say it's not true. Let's say that Jordan created this whole thing, this whole letter from Sean's parents as a means of deceiving the YouTube community. That would be bad. But
it couldn't be worse than stealing from sick kids' charity.
if it's true that he actually contacted his parents, it's even worse.
How is that worse? They want to know what's wrong with this person. Normal people do not act the way he acts.
For months and months, he has been conspiratorially going behind the back of Sean and contacting his own father to further drive a wedge between him and his parents.
No, it was to help the guy's dad keep tabs on his crazy son, who was brainwashed by the likes of Kirk Cameron and Kent Hovind.
As well as his sister. This is wicked bad. This is like